Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Kavanaugh's Corner. Today in the show I'm going to be talking about a movie that I really should have reviewed when it first came out. I mean, I really should have reviewed this movie, but when it originally came out there was a lot of other stuff going on. It came out around like Halloween last year, and there's so many movies coming out and there's just so many things that I completely missed it. And I have to say, what a mistake that was, because this has got to be one of the best 4K Blu-rays that have been released yet, honestly. I have a few caveats with it, but overall I think this one is a real winner, and that is The Wizard of Oz, the 1939 immortal classic, a film that is legendary in status and fame. It is a magnificent film. It is a family film that will pretty much never go out of style, honestly, in my mind. It's one of the best films ever made, in my opinion, and this movie has a lot of significance to me. This is one of the first movies I ever saw when I was a kid, and honestly, that movie watching experience made me the movie fan that I am today. This is one of the very first movies I remember when I was a kid. The first movie I ever saw when I was a kid was The Little Mermaid. I remember that very, very vividly. In terms of movies, period, that was the very first one. Besides that, there was Fern Gully, which was the next one. The first live-action movie I ever saw was The Love Bug, ironically enough, with the Herbie, with Dean Jones and Buddy Hackett, and again, that's one of my favorite films as well, in terms of family films, but I mean, even Disney movies, that's one of my favorites. I adore that movie. The original one especially, you know, Herbie Rides Again, Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo, you know, not as much, but that first one really holds a special place in my heart. And after Love Bug was The Wizard of Oz, and I had the Turner home video release that was like partnered with MGM, and United Artists, I think were a thing at that time. It was MGM UA. I remember the logo. I remember that VHS set very, very vividly, and it was a pretty, you know, it was a big deal when that was out, and I remember having that for many years and loving it and wearing the tape out, basically. I remember that, and I remember the little behind the scenes things they had after the movie and stuff. It was really cool how they did that. And then it came out on DVD many years later, and DVD we thought was the end-all be-all, and then it came out on Blu-ray. And the 70th edition Blu-ray, I actually have the 3-disc edition that has like the extra DVD on it, that has like a TV movie with John Ritter about the making of the movie and stuff. It's really interesting. Again, it's a very, very interesting set, and I thought that was great. And then they released the 75th anniversary edition, and I actually never even picked up the 75th anniversary edition. I just left it. I was like, I just got this disc 5 years ago. Crazy how 5 years goes by so fast. And now we're on 4K, and this movie came out in 1939. And one thing I have to say, now that we've gone through the history of how much I love this film and the significance of it and all the releases, is that this is hands down the best this movie has ever looked. And again, you probably expected that it being a Warner Brothers 4K release, but in all honesty, this movie has a level of clarity and detail now that I have never seen before. And I'm talking about going to the Blu-ray, and this actually includes, I'm going to open up the box here, it has a nice little slip cover, but it also includes, this is the 4K disc over here, this plain red disc, and this has the 75th anniversary Blu-ray with the special features and everything on it. So if you have the 75th anniversary Blu-ray, this is not including anything new. but except for the 4K. And really, today I'm just really mainly going to talk about the 4K disc, obviously. So, first and foremost, one thing I want to talk about is the disc itself. This well, actually, it's more like 80th anniversary edition now, really. But this is, you know, as I mentioned, it's the best this movie's ever looked. The movie starts off very famously in a sepia tone, which is more like a brown and white. It's not black and white, it's brown and white. As crazy as that is, I remember when watching this on VHS when I was a kid and having a hard time telling between brown and black, but now it's very, very noticeable. And the first thing I want to talk about with the disc is the fact that they did preserve the original 1:37:1 aspect ratio. The older Blu-ray that I have, the 70th anniversary edition, ironically has it listed as 1:33:1, which is still the box aspect ratio, which is not really what this is. It's actually slightly wider. But the sepia tone in this, first and foremost I want to talk about, is incredible looking. It is a very chocolatey brown now. It's like a khaki color, dark, it goes between light and dark browns, and I don't have any other movie that's in sepia tone. I just don't. This is it. And from what I've seen in this is an incredible thing to see this type of movie, that color, in that 4K with the HDR. The other thing I want to mention about this disc is that this movie does have 3 forms of HDR on the disc. It has Dolby Vision, which is what I watched it in. It has HDR10 and HDR10 Plus for those Samsung TVs and some other TVs out there that have that capability. But I watched it in Dolby Vision, and the Dolby Vision is to die for on this disc. And I mean, just in the sepia tone sections of the film, it really does look more vivid and more detailed than ever before. And we're talking about mainly, you know, 2 colors, brown and white. That's it. Man, does it look good. It really looks good. It's an incredible thing. The real kicker is when the movie goes to the color section. That level of color that comes through now. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of made me tear up a little. I remember watching this for the first time when I was a kid, not knowing that transition was going to take place when she opens the door and the movie changes the color. I was really floored by it this time around. I've seen this movie countless numbers of times. I mean, I don't even know how many times I've seen this movie. But with that Dolby Vision, there are more colors to be seen now than I have ever seen before, and I noticed things in this that I never noticed before. Ironically enough, there's actually some kind of mistakes you can spot now in this. The backdrop, the matte paintings they use, the backdrop paintings for the sets are horribly noticeable now. They were kind of noticeable in the old Blu-ray, but they are vividly noticeable now, and you can tell that line doesn't go on for forever. It's like the set ends right behind them, you know. It's really interesting to see. And somehow, you know, the movie still works. It's an amazing masterwork of a film. Judy Garland, you know, Ray Bolger, all these guys, just amazing actors and actresses. I mean, you know, Jack Haley, Billy Burke, Margaret Hamilton, you know, Frank, what's his name? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to refer to this. Frank Morgan. Again, all these great actors, I mean, they really, they live on through this, and it is an incredible way to view the movie. I mean, like I said, the visuals themselves are stunning. Even though you may be able to tell that, you know, obviously they're using some trickery, it's so endearing to watch this film in this high a quality, to the point now where, you know, you can see wrinkles on Judy Garland's dress. You know, the one thing that struck me, and I can't, like I said, I've seen this movie many times. I've never noticed it until now. And I watched this with my girlfriend, and she said it too. She's like, oh my God, you can see through Glinda's crown thing that she's wearing, and the material is actually see-through. Like, I've never noticed this. As many times I noticed that, I've never seen the fact that you can see her hair, Glinda's hair, you can see her hair through her, like, crown thingy that she wears. It's unreal. It is unreal, and it's strikingly noticeable now. And for those of you that have not seen the movie in a while, there is a scene at one point where the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and you know, the Cowardly Lion, they all go into, you know, after the Wicked Witch to her castle, and you know, you can see the fact that, like, the Scarecrow's got he's, you know, like, he's packing heat, you know, and and again, like, it's a joke I heard a while back, and I'm like, what do you mean he's got a gun? He's got a gun in one scene in this movie. And again, I may be going over this, but for those of you that have seen this movie countless numbers of times, you probably have noticed this, but again, little things you may have missed before, you're definitely not going to miss it now. It is a real thing, and you're going to notice some heavy-duty stuff now because the clarity of this disc is so extraordinary. The colors are so extraordinary. The black levels on this disc, perfect. And the other thing to talk about with this disc is the fact that the movie has no noticeable damage that I could see. And this is not something I discuss on this channel a lot when I talk about quality of film, but it's something we have to take into account with this film. Because the movie has been out since 1939, and God knows how many times that negative has been duplicated and duplicated and duplicated and duplicated to make, you know, video releases for this film. I think it's incredible that Warner Brothers was able to take the original negative of this film, scan it, make a high-grade 4K digital intermediate of it, and take basically any film damage that might have been on that negative and just get rid of it digitally. I think that's incredible. And that alone, the effort put into that alone, makes this a must-buy. It's an amazing transfer throughout. I have one little nitpick that I'm going to get into now, and I'll make it brief because this video is getting a little long, but my one nitpick is that the audio on this disc is not that great. Is it passable? Yes, it's fine. You can, you know, you hear the movie. It's 5.1. I think it's a DTS 5.1. I just want to double check. Yes, it's a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 mix, and it's fine. It's fine. It's the same mix that you got for the 75th anniversary Blu-ray. It's fine. It's okay. I did notice, though, I did have to pump up the volume a little bit. And the reason for that is, for those of you that don't know, this movie came out in 1939. I've said it 6 times already, okay? This was not meant to be a surround sound film. It came out in mono, one audio track. So the fact that the original mono mix is not on any disc that's in this set is kind of sad, honestly. I was really hoping it would be there because it's in the 70th anniversary Blu-ray, but it's missing on the 4K disc, and I guess it's also missing on the standard Blu-ray as well, which is too bad because honestly, if you're going to listen to this movie, you might as well listen to the original audio track. But the 5.1 is fine. It's just the levels, the audio levels were just a little low for me. And it is, you know, again, you take what you can get. I mean, it's still a phenomenal film. The movie's not going to look any better than it does on this disc. You're not going to see it. And honestly, for the movie alone, I'd say this is a must-buy. For the quality of this audio and video, I'd say audio-wise, it's not so hot, but video-wise, this is one of the best that I own. And honestly, I think it's one of the best 4K Blu-rays out there. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And again, I am sorry that I'm late on this one because, my God, did I miss the boat. This is a phenomenal release from Warner Brothers. Yet again, they did a great job with this. I picked this up recently on a sale on Amazon, and the link is in the description below, click that link and buy it through there, and I get a little kickback. I highly appreciate it if you did. This is a movie to own for the ages. Thank you again, and as always, if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. And until next time, take it easy.